8 are here. The stakes are higher, the arguments sharper, and the excitement through the roof. At 4 p.m. on Monday, Olajilo Akinloluwa takes on Amuzie David Emmanuel in a thrilling face-off. Is technology making us lazier? At 5 p.m., Simisola Akimbola goes head-to-head with Ocheja Abigail Iyeoma in a fiery debate. Should public transportation be free? Expect compelling arguments and moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Who will advance to the semi-finals? Well, I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me as we find out on Monday. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 8. One winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College. Supported by Obiwizi, Lucas Green Fashion, Beloxi, Card Center Nigeria Limited, and Cordros Group. Season 8 continues in March and culminates in the National Championship in 2025. Send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm for inquiries on how to partner with us. That is info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ. A tournament of champions. The quarterfinals of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Season 8 are here. The stakes are higher, the arguments sharper, and the excitement through the roof. At 4 p.m. on Monday, Olajilo Akinloluwa takes on Amuzie David Emmanuel in a thrilling face-off. Is technology making us lazier? At 5 p.m., Simisola Akimbola goes head-to-head with Ocheja Abigail Iyeoma in a fiery debate. Should public transportation be free? Expect compelling arguments and moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Who will advance to the semi-finals? Well, I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me as we find out on Monday. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 8. One winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College. Supported by Obiwizi, Lucas Green Fashion, Beloxi, Card Center Nigeria Limited, and Cordros Group. Season 8 continues in March and culminates in the National Championship in 2025. Send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm for inquiries on how to partner with us. That is info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ. A tournament of champions.
Welcome back to the second hour of this debate. Tunde Abdul Salam, I appreciate your attention. Just so we can change our information from round of 16 to quarterfinal. Yes, on our screens. Thank you very, very much. Sheriff, please help us do that. We can deal with that and adjust as we go. All right, welcome to the second debate between these lovely, lovely contestants whom you're going to meet in just a bit. So, we're here to do whatever we can to challenge us assumptions and expand the horizons of thought. This is what these young stars are aiming to do. At a time when the stakes have become higher, the challenges have become more formidable, and the expectations are now on parallel. If you're just joining us, you've missed a whole hour and the first of two quarterfinal debates scheduled for today. But take heart, the debate to come will make you feel, well, we'll make up for it. So let's get ready to meet the two debaters who will go head-to-head in this second of four quarterfinal debates. I would like to start with some bad news. Not that I like bad news, but I'm compelled to share the bad news. One of our outstanding debaters could not make it to the debate stage today. One of our quarterfinals in person of Simisola Akimbola of Day Waterman College. She's been a fantastic debater. But circumstances, well, let's just say circumstances led to her not being able to come here to debate, to continue with this debate. And we didn't find out about this until yesterday.
That's right.
Late yesterday, in the evening of yesterday. And we had to go to a plan B, which is reach out to the debater who was on our leading cards from the second round of debates. Short notice, but with a willingness and a desire to come and compete nonetheless. So, join me to make a very special welcome and applaud, if you may, young Alexandra Chidinma Richy, 15-year-old SS3 student of Abule Community Secondary School. She lost in the last round, and when the opportunity for a wild card reared its head yesterday, she only had hours to prepare to go up in this debate, and she took the challenge, and she's here today. Alexandra Chidinma Richy, you are welcome to this debate.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I love your spirit, and I hope you do well in this debate. Her opponent has been, well, near impeccable. Brilliant debate so far. She's also 15 like Chidinma. She's also in SS3 like Chidinma. But she's a student of Tollywood College, Lagos. Please welcome the brilliant Ocheja Abigail. Iyeoma. Welcome, Abigail.
Thank you.
It's good to have you in the studio again.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready for this debate?
Very ready.
No doubt. Chidinma, are you good to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Lagos, we have a debate on our hands with an interesting topic. You'll find out the details of everything right now.
Yes. The topic for this hour is, should public transportation be free? Now, if you use public transportation in Lagos and Nigeria, come closer, because this topic should interest you. Last week, these debaters picked how they would debate today. They will now remind us of how they picked. I will start with the lady to my right. Abigail, how will you argue today?
I would be opposing the motion.
My goodness. Abigail will say no. Public transportation shouldn't be free. And of course, Chidinma Richy Alexandra will say yes. Public transportation should be free.
So why? Oh, why not? Don't you want to find out? By the way, we're streaming live. You know that on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks to all the guys. Tunde Abdul Salam leading our live broadcast.
That's right.
A quick reminder though. Remember that we right now have switched the stream.
That's right.
So if you joined us in the earlier broadcast, and you are waiting for us to begin to show, it is not going to happen. That feed has closed, especially on Facebook.
Yes.
On YouTube, you may have noticed, but on Facebook, you may not notice. Please refresh your feed, and you'll find the new stream.
Yes, we also have polls up on X, formerly Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Join the live streams, vote on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. And also remember, we're streaming this debate live on Kids FM as well. The dial is 101.7. That's 101.7. Also, follow I Beg to Differ on Instagram at Nigeria Info, IBTD.
All right, to catch the voting portals, just look for Nigeria Info. It's
right.
Nigeria Info FM on X. It's Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook. And of course, just Nigeria Info on YouTube. We'll take one short break. When we come back, it will be time for Chidinma and Abigail to go head to head.
The quarterfinals of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Season 8 are here. The stakes are higher, the arguments sharper, and the excitement through the roof. At 4 p.m. on Monday, Olajilo Akinloluwa takes on Amuzie David Emmanuel in a thrilling face-off. Is technology making us lazier? At 5 p.m., Simisola Akimbola goes head-to-head with Ocheja Abigail Iyeoma in a fiery debate. Should public transportation be free? Expect compelling arguments and moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Who will advance to the semi-finals? Well, I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me as we find out on Monday. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 8. One winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College. Supported by Obiwisi, Lucas Green Fashion, Beloxi, Card Center Nigeria Limited, and Cordros Group. Season 8 continues in March and culminates in the National Championship in 2025. Send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm for inquiries on how to partner with us. That is info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ. A tournament of champions.
Welcome back. It is now time to go. Thank you very much to you, Tohib, Ola, Dikoko, Mati, for your comments in the first debate. Remember to refresh your feed and go to the new feed for this second debate. Remember also that this debate is between the duo of Alexandra, Chidinma, Richy, and Ocheja, Abigail, Iyeoma. You've heard that they are the exact same age, both of them, as well as the exact same class. Chidinma is from Abule Unity Secondary School. Abigail is from Tollywood College.
Yes.
May the better debater win.
The topic is, should public transportation be free? Chidinma will say yes. Abigail will say no. For this round, we'll open with the motion supporter, Alexandra, Chidinma, Richy. It is time.
According to Professor Peter Newman, free public transportation is not a utopian dream. It is a necessary and realistic step in attaining a sustainable, equitable, and livable city. Good day, Mr. Moderator, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debater, and my ever-captivating listeners. Speaking presently to you is Alexandra Chidinma, a student of that tremendous castle of learning, Abule Community Senior Grammar School, Jede. I'm here to strongly say yes to the question, should public transportation be free? Public transportation is referred to as a system of transportation in which passengers are not required to pay a fare in public transportation services. To start with, free public transportation provides for an environmental benefit. This is so because the citizens are given free handtake, but in order for them to switch from private vehicles, reducing greenhouse gas emission, air pollution, and noise pollution. Furthermore, it leads to improved mobility. Free transportation services provide equal access to all citizens, regardless of the income level, promoting social equity and mobility. I can say here with the fact that free public transport reduces traffic congestion. When free public transport is made free, traffic congestion is reduced and also help to improve the overall traffic flow. Permit me to say here that free public transportation also help in increased production. When public transportation is made free, production is made easy because citizens are willing to make use of their commute time for work, study, or leisure activity. This in turn can also help them have a free time on their own. More so, free public transportation enhances social inclusion by reducing the gap between the rich and the poor, providing easy access to all citizens. Also, free public transportation also reduces the need for parking space. When free public transportation is made use of, the need for parking space is reduced, making it free for freeing up lands for other use or for other productive use like commercial development, like for other use like housing, parks, and so on. Permit me to state here that free public transportation also helps to improve social inclusion. In conclusion, free public transportation leads to free work balance. The citizens have people can achieve a free life balance when they have the access to free public transportation. It helps to reduce stress, and it also helps them to reduce the financial burden, the burden of having to pay for transportation. It also helps them to create more time for their personal and family responsibilities. Thank you.
All right. The opening comments of Alexandra, Chidinma, Richy of Unity Secondary, that's Abule Community Secondary School. It's now time to hear her opponent. That's Ocheja Abigail Iyeoma. She's of Tollywood College.
Fortune's article explains that the global transportation industry is valued at $1,149 billion in 2021. The valuation was projected to increase, according to Forbes, to a staggering $1,804 billion by 2029. Impressively, Nigeria has got a fair share. According to Statista, the Nigerian public transportation market is expected to generate a total of $1.60 billion in revenue in 2024. This is in no way a small revenue to be traded for fair free public transportation that is totally not practicable or sustainable. Lower carbon emissions and fewer traffic jams. These are all just selling points put forward by promoters of fair free public transportation. But just how realistic is such an idea will forever remain a myth. Who wouldn't love the freedom of hopping on and off trains and trams without having to fiddle with ticket machines or showing proof of funds to conductors? But unfortunately, the idea of free public transportation is just one of the many unrealistic promises and rhetorics used by politicians during political campaigns. Good day, I beg to differ moderators, unbiased and accurate panel of incorruptible judges, the precise timekeeper, my amazing co-debater, and the beautiful audience out there. My name is Ocheja Abigail. I'm a student of Tollywood College and I'm currently in year 12. Kindly permit me space to highlight the drawbacks that nullify the chances of fair free public transportation. Firstly, there's an increase in vandalism, which leads to an increased cost of security and vehicle maintenance. Secondly, in large public transport systems, significant revenue shortfalls are recorded. Thirdly, an increase in driver complaints and staff turnover is rampant. Also, we have slower service overall. Not collecting fares has the effect of speeding up boarding, but the increased overcrowding tends to swamp out this effect. On to my fifth point, there's a decline in schedule adherence, and my sixth point, it promotes an atmosphere of disorderliness. Furthermore, fair free public transportation requires substantial and permanent increases in government funding. In addition to this, public transport companies rely heavily on subsidies. Now, eliminating fares necessitates even higher subsidies, which cannot be sustained against other public priorities. Another point is that more public transport would be needed. Buses, planes, trains, etc. all harm the environment just as much as cars do. If more people were to use public transportation, then more buses will pollute the cities. It should also be mentioned that the manufacturing and creation of these public transport systems is highly energy intensive, drawing largely on coal and fossil fuels for energy. This releases significant carbon emission into the atmosphere. Now, my 10th and next point is financial crisis. It will cost way too much for the government to pay for the funding of public transport services. With the economic crisis, you agree with me, esteemed judges, that it needs to focus and spend money on more important things. Also, car sales will drop significantly. If everybody had access to free public transportation, the car industry would suffer, car makers would most likely lose their jobs, and car companies would collapse. Furthermore, there's an increased strain. Public transport networks are already unreliable and overcrowded. With increased customers and pressure, these networks wouldn't be manageable at all. Another point is top services are not provided. When you pay a little more, you pay for a good service. However, when you pay nothing at all with heaps of people using the service, you cannot expect top-notch customer service. And we cannot forget the factor of social status protection. In a bid to protect their social status, some people may still stick to their cars and even stop using public transportation altogether, because with it being free, so many people would want to use it and it will become a mess as it is overcrowded. Also, looking at it from an economic standpoint, it makes no sense whatsoever, because people who are willing and able to pay will no longer be willing to pay. If equity is a concern, then subsidies should be targeted to specific audiences and service improvement to areas and people that need it the most. And my 15th and last point is age-specific effects. Free fares can have different effects on people of different age groups. For example, older adults may see some physical activity benefits, but children may want to replace short walking trips with bus trips, and we all know the detrimental effect this is going to have on their health. As sure as death, as clear as crystal, and as certain as the night and day, all my enumerated points should be more than enough to drive home my central point. What is that central point, you may ask? It is simply that public transportation should not be made free. Thank you.
Well done.
And so the opening rounds are done and dusted. You just had Ocheja Abigail of Tollywood College land. And before that, you'd had the opening of Alexandra Chidinma Richy of Abule Community Secondary School. We'll take a break. When we come back, it will be time for the rebuttal rounds between Chidinma and Abigail. Don't go anywhere.
The biggest debate competition in Nigeria. I beg to differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Tollywood College is a modern co-educational day school poised to provide a perfect learning environment for students between the ages of 10 and 16. We are dedicated to innovation and excellence in teaching and learning. I'm talking about research, scholarship, creative activities, service, and public engagement. You will find that innovation and excellence in all these fields when you meet a Tollywood College student. We aim to create students that are successful, lifelong learners, confident individuals, and responsible citizens of society. We want our students to be proud of themselves and their school through the values of integrity, inclusiveness, responsiveness, accountability, collaboration, and sustainability. At Tollywood College, we arm our students with technological supremacy and help integrate it to values, morals, and our cultural legacy. The school curriculum has been painstakingly planned on scientific guidelines to provide students with intellectual stimulation, physical robustness, social adaptability, emotional independence, and leadership qualities. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this beautiful citadel of learning, an experience like no other at Tollywood College, where potentials are unlocked and given premium value. For inquiries, kindly contact us at the email address info@tollywoodcollege.com. That is info@tollywoodcollege.com, or go to the website at www.tollywoodcollege.com. I repeat, www.tollywoodcollege.com. You could also go to the physical address to see things for yourself at kilometer 43 Lekki Ekpe Expressway by Canaan Land Estate, Shongotedo, Aja, Lagos. Rest assured, we will be waiting.
The Tournament of Champions. It's I Beg to Differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. So you heard the opening rounds before the break between Alexandra Chidinma Richy of Abule Community Secondary School and Abigail Ocheja of Tollywood College. It's time now for the rebuttal rounds between these two.
That's right. And for this round, we will commence with the motion opposer. Abigail will get 4 minutes to refute her opponent's points and add extra points of her own.
Ocheja Abigail is back, still standing on all existing protocols. I've listened rapidly to all the controversial points made by my opponent. I am ready to refute all of them. Firstly, my opponent says that fair free public transportation reduces traffic congestion. This is a fallacy because the causes of traffic congestion will forever remain poor driving habits, weather conditions, poor road infrastructure, working zones, special effects, and poor timing signals, not the use of fair public transportation. As a matter of fact, in America, the use of public transportation reduces up to 865 million hours of travel time. But guess what? The public transportation is not free. It is paid for. Next, my opponent assessed that fair free public transportation leads to equity or equality. Permit me to take you on a short walk down history lane. Now, in Australia, the government issued a 5-week-old free bus policy to aid with the increasing cost of living expenses. Now, this policy was set to benefit mostly the wealthier groups of people living in urban areas who commute to work daily. Similarly, in Spain, free bus tickets are set to aid mostly people living in densely populated regions who have access to the regional trains, such as the one running from Madrid to Barcelona and is heavily visited at all times a year. So in countries where fair free public transportation has been implemented, it has in no way led to equality. Rather, it has led to division and the favoring of a group of people over others. Next, my opponent assessed that fare-free public transportation leads to reduced air pollution. Now, this is not true, because fare-free public transportation would actually increase the rate of air pollution and CO2 emission. If everybody parks their cars and uses public transportation, it will compel the acquisition of more public transportation, in this case maybe buses, and it will lead to further CO2 emission. As I mentioned earlier in my presentation, the manufacturing and creation of these public transport systems is highly energy intensive, drawing largely on coal and fossil fuels for energy, releasing significant carbon emission into the atmosphere. Next, my opponent asserts that fare-free public transportation reduces stress. This is a total fallacy. I beg to differ, and I do not agree. My opponent fails to realize that fare-free public transportation increases ridership up to 13-fold. Now, this is not an advantage. Stay with me. With the increased cost of ridership, coupled with the inadequate amount of buses, the stress created would be indescribable. The delay at bus and train stations would be unfathomable, while their counterparts using the fed public transportation can sit leisurely at the comfort of their homes and other rides which are stress-free and efficient. Next, my opponent asserts that fare-free public transportation reduces the need for parking spaces. This is not true, because the need for parking spaces is not necessarily caused by fair public transportation. Rather, it is in the grand scheme of the government to invest in efficient and safer public transportation in order to increase and encourage the use of public transportation, and also reduce the need for parking spaces as compared to when everybody uses their individual cars. But this procedure is subsidized and people still pay fares, so it is not free as proposed by my opponent. Next, my opponent says that fare-free public transportation leads to social inclusion. Now, I need my opponent to understand something, and that is, it is in the place of every individual to ascertain what they can afford and when they can afford it. If public transportation are of different grades, they are not the same. The cost of a flight is not the same with a bus ticket. So if an individual knows he can't afford a flight, he can afford a bus ticket. So are you trying to say that we should make everything free? Because not everybody can afford everything. Just because some certain people can't afford something doesn't mean we should make it free. Also, my opponent asserts that fare-free public transportation reduces financial burden. Now, fare-free public transportation does not in any way reduce financial burden. If I understand my opponent correctly, she's trying to say that fare-free public transportation is economical, and this is not true at all. As I asserted in my presentation, I said that public transport companies rely heavily on subsidies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rebuttal rounds over now for Abigail. Chidinma has our opportunity to respond, and that is where we're headed.
I still recognize the existing protocol, and I'm here to refute my opponent's points. My opponent said public transportation, free public transportation leads to loss of government revenue. Now, let's understand this, that when you say public transportation leads to loss of government revenue, the citizens usually pay their taxes, and it is part of the duty of the government to actually fulfill or provide all the necessary social amenities for the citizens. As long as the citizens it is already compulsory for the citizens to pay the taxes. The government also needs to fulfill the responsibility. Besides, that's why there are leaders. Now, saying that the government won't provide us free public transport for every one of us, it's more like bringing injustice to the citizens. Also, she mentioned that free public transportation leads to vandalism and abuse. Free public transportation does not really lead to vandalism and abuse. For instance, when I would like to ask this question to my opponent, would you definitely destroy your source of assistance or help? Because when we say it leads to vandalism and abuse, the citizens do not, as long as the government and the citizens actually carry out their duties simultaneously, it does not reduce or lead to vandalism and abuse if the government are willing to help the citizens, and then there will be orderliness, which will lead to lack of vandalism and abuse in these cases. Now, she also mentioned it will lead to pollution. Free transportation fare will not lead to pollution, because when you talk about pollution, we are saying when we have our free vehicles, then we can also use our vehicles around. And again, the vehicles we use also, all those vehicles can also lead to transportation. But when we have only government vehicles allowed or free public transportation, it will reduce the number of vehicles on the traffic, which will actually make it more like reduce the rate of pollution in the environment and can also save the health of the people. Also, she mentioned financial crisis. The taxes the citizens pays is more than enough for the government to actually make use of, because when as long as there is no bad leadership or embezzlement, the taxes the citizens pay is enough for the government to make use or to maintain and update the vehicles. And also it does not lead to financial crisis, because the taxes the citizens pay are more than enough for the government to make use of, as long as there is no bad leadership or embezzlement. Also, she mentioned urban, and it leads to inequality between the urban and rural areas. May I put it to you that also the government will not open their eyes to actually deal with just one particular region. It will always try to balance everything. And again, the government will actually focus on the both of them, because the rural areas are basically into agriculture. So the government will make free transportation possible for them, and we also make for the urban areas, because that's where a lot of people are more populated. Also, she made mention that free transportation system will lead to less parking space. Like I said in my presentation, that free transportation will also help us like with free lands, whereas the lands in which people need to park their vehicles will actually be made available for us for other productive activities like housing, parks, and commercial developments. So in conclusion, I would love to say that free public... Thank you.
You should have landed. You would love to say what?
Just say what you would love to say.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. But I guess, of course, it would be to reiterate the point we've been making since. All right. Thank you very much. I enjoy this debate. Contrasting styles, no doubt, but a very good debate.
Absolutely.
The points were brilliant, and I must reserve the creme of my appreciation for you, Chidinma, Alexandra, Richy, because it was short notice. You took the challenge nonetheless, and here you are. So you probably had last night to prepare, and you had to be in school today. I'm not sure whether you had enough time to prepare, but you gave it a very good fight.
Absolutely.
And like I said earlier on, something told me that I hadn't seen the last of you. This just reiterates it. And whatever the outcome of this debate is, you are a brilliant debater. Thank you very much for honoring our last-minute invitation to come use our wild card. We are super proud of you. Okay, look at our time. We will have to go take one final break and read the results.
Femi, we haven't had the closing rounds yet.
Good Lord. Oh, man. I'm growing old. Okay, we'll take one quick break. Good Lord. In my head, I fast-forwarded this whole debate. Okay, thank you. Apologies, Lagos. Apologies, debaters. You will still have to close. We'll come to that in just a bit. Stick around.
Yes, gentlemen, specifically, you are the ones I am talking to. Lucas Green has an unbeatable offer just for you. This season, Lucas Green is offering you the chance to get 3 premium Senator kaftans, 2 stylish English trousers, 2 office-ready shirts, and 1 classy pair of palm slippers, all for the price of 160,000 naira. Every order comes with a free gift. Hurry, as this is your chance to elevate your wardrobe at an unbeatable discount. Limited slots are available, so please act fast. Don't say I didn't tell you. Now, send a WhatsApp message to the number 0703-286-7011. That is 0703-286-7011. Do this now to book your appointments for measurement and fabric selection. That is 0703-286-7011. Do not miss it. Delivery takes 15 working days after payment. So follow the Instagram handle at Men Instructions were _by_Lucas Green on Instagram for more updates. Now be advised that this is a limited time offer, so make sure that you are quick to go and secure your spot today.
Welcome back. Time is of the essence. You can tell from how I was rushing before now. So let's go into the closing rounds of these debates between Alexandra, Chidinma, Richy, and Ocheja, Abigail, Iyeoma.
Now, for this round, we will revert to the motion. Supporter Chidinma, it is time to rest your case.
I'm back again, and I'm here to finally close my debate. And like I said before, free public transportation actually helps to reduce pollution in the air, since there will be less vehicles around, like on the traffic. Also, we said it helps to reduce traffic jams, because since there are less vehicles on the road, and then there won't be more people, and again it helps to reduce traffic congestion. And also, like I said before, free public transportation helps to provide lands necessary for other use. It also helps, free public transportation helps social inclusion. It leads to better work balance in the life of workers, and also free transportation work can also help to reduce traffic congestion. So in conclusion, it's therefore my conviction that free public transportation shouldn't just be an option for our indefatigable citizens. It should be part of the basics for an acceptable standard of living. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much. And now for her opponent, Abigail Ocheja of Tollywood College, to close her argument.
In most regions, U.S. voters, 85% of whom commute by automobile, have resisted deep subsidies and expect fair collection to cover a part of the operating budget. Studies have also shown that transit riders prefer better and low-cost services to free rides on substandard options that exist much in the U.S. Fair free public transportation sounds ideal, but would it actually tempt drivers out of their cars? Lydia Peters, the Mobility and Public Work Minister of Flanders, makes the argument against this. Experts and researchers have examined the potential impact on free public transportation on the use of passengers' cars, amongst other things. The head of Tampere University, Hekele Matainen, has said that free public transportation in itself is not a solution without being accompanied by relevant measures such as broader urban development goals. He further said that free public transportation may increase passengers. However, the shift is mostly seen in cyclists and pedestrians and hardly takes drivers out of their cars. With this being said, almost all experts are of the same opinion, and that is, it is better and more important to improve the quality of public transportation than to make it completely free. This is the more reason why Flanders is pushing for better quality, better sustainability, and better customer-friendly public transportation with customers at the center stage. Making public transportation free will not improve the service. It would make it worse. It would overcrowd the buses, cut routes, and generally lower the quality of public transportation for everyone. Today's roads are being financed by tax money and are free for all to use, but public transportation is being financed by fares. In countries like Nigeria, fair free public transportation cannot be practiced, reason why the government only makes it available during the Yuletide season or other major public holidays, and afterwards they withdraw the benefit. This is actually not a surprise, because only fools would rush into where even angels dread to enter. What economically more developed countries couldn't sustain, isn't Nigeria that would dare it? In heavily populated countries such as India and China, it would be a serious challenge if fair free public transportation is practiced. People will not even want to use public transport because it would be overcrowded, and human psychology is that free things are not valued, so people may want to abuse the system. In closing, Kay Oxen, a professor of transportation planning at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Zurich, is skeptical. He says, and I quote, "Let's say it's a resounding success and people start storming the buses." He now further says, "Once they become overcrowded and unreliable, the customers will be gone within 2 days." So esteemed judges, eloquent moderators, amazing co-debater, and spectacular audience, I reiterate, I state again, not with baseless claims, but with points backed up by real-life events and economical statistics, that public transportation should not be made free. Thank you.
Well done. And so this debate closes.
At long last, Femi is finally here.
Oh my.
Okay, thank you very much for being a part of the debate. We have 10 minutes from now to the point where we say bye-bye, in which time we would have shared the result of this debate and our thoughts on these two brilliant candidates or debaters' output here today. Remember, it's for a place in the semi-finals. The semi-finals of these debates will happen on Thursday. There will be a second day of quarterfinals tomorrow, when we have 4 debaters come here to battle in 2 debates again, and there will be a day between those between the quarterfinal, the second day of the quarterfinals, and the semi-finals, which will be on Thursday. The third place and the final debates will happen next week. Stick around, Lagos. The result is coming right after this short timeout.
The biggest debate competition in Nigeria. I beg to differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Obiwizi is Nigeria's pioneer e-commerce platform for pre-owned gadgets. They are Nigeria's home of gadgets with warranties, where you can purchase all your favorite devices and quality accessories, both brand new and pre-owned. You can also trade in your older devices for a newer model in a simple and convenient way. To crown it all, when you decide to sell off that device of yours to meet that important cash obligation, Obiwizi is your guy, literally your guy. With offline and pickup stores in Ocheja, Lekki, Abuja, and Benin, Obiwizi delivers nationwide. So make sure you are following Obiwizi on Instagram at Obiwizi Backup Page. Yes, that is on Instagram. You could send an email to the email address info@obiwizi.com, or go to the website at www.obiwizi.com. They are also on X at Obiwizi, literally Obiwizi. Obiwizi is spelled Obiwizy. Yes, Obiwizi. Follow them on all pages and of course all social media platforms and get that device of your dreams.
Welcome back. Akobundu Godson Ujunwa had predicted on our Facebook live stream that this debate was going to be tough. In fact, he said it will be the toughest debate. Very tough debate in the end. And Okwe Sunday Emmanuel says Chidinma seated here and debating, despite having less than 24 hours to prepare, is really commendable. Win Absolutely. Or lose, she already won my heart. Mine too. I agree with you. Patrick Pato says, I always like Chidinma's presentation. Ancestors Makondo Autonomous says, good evening, Nigeria Info. We greet you right back. Christiana Ogumbo Ali goes, we got a nice debate. I have switched. Thank you. And then she says, this is a serious debate. It's getting hot. Exceptional Dave goes, I knew Tollywood didn't just give us that cash prize without a fight. They came with a plan. Nothing you tell me, he says. And then Wumi says Tollywood College is on their way to getting the 1 million they sponsored back, and then laughs. Debates are not like that, too. You guys have no idea. Tohi Boladikupo Machi says, oh, wow. Good to see Alexandra back. Go, girl. You have a second chance. Congratulations. Jambuaek Neko goes, Abigail is fantastic. But one Abigail chopped my money and broke my heart. So I vote for Chidinma. Iyeoma Okoli goes, well done, everyone. Kingdom Sinwafo says Tollywood should have given Abigail the money instead of putting up the money for a contest with Abigail contesting. I mean, what do you mean? Okay, thank you very much. It is time for the decision. We appreciate all your comments. Time to share the score. Look at that. We got precious little time. So here is the decision for that debate between Abigail and Chidinma Alexandra Richy. In the presentation round, George Ama scores it 15-15 between the girls. George Ufoma scores it 17-12 in favor of Abigail. And Chief Judge Chike scores it 15-13 in favor of Abigail. In the rebuttal round, Judge Ama scores it 13-10, Abigail. Judge Ufoma scores it 14.5-12, Abigail. And Chief Judge Chike scores it 13-9, Abigail. At this point in the presentation rounds, it's 47-40, Abigail. And in the rebuttal round, it is 40.5-31, Abigail. Bringing us to the closing arguments, it's 8-6, Abigail for Judge Ama. Judge Ufoma scores it 8.5-5 for Abigail. And Chief Judge Chike scores it 9-5 for Abigail. So that's 25.5-16 advantage Abigail. At this point, it's 36-31 for Judge Ama for Abigail. Judge Ufoma has it at 40-29, Abigail. And Chief Judge Chike has it at 37-27 for Abigail. That's 113-87 total. Diction infraction deductions. It's 3.5 points deducted from Abigail's score and a total of 8 deducted from Abigail's score, which brings us to the
Chidinma's score.
Chidinma's score, yes. Which brings this to a unanimous scoreline of 109.5 to 79 for the winner and second semi-finalist who will go up against the young lad you saw earlier. It is, of course, success for Abigail Ocheja. Congratulations, Abigail. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Happy to be in the semi-final, huh?
Yes.
Chidinma, I'd like to say that today, this debate for me wasn't just about who won it. For me, this has been about showing up. And despite having little time to prepare, despite having the shortest of notices to prepare, you still showed up where other people would have said no. You showed up. That is something commendable, and I truly admire you for that. And I hope truly that I'll see you in March next year, because you are brilliant. You are brilliant. So I hope to see you in March next year. In fact, Femi, we should just extend an invite to her.
Certainly.
There's no need to audition. Come in March, okay? You're not auditioning. We would love to have you in March. All right?
I need to say, for me, this has been your best debate. Not in terms of the output, because I've seen you
in your elements
in other debates. But this was your best debate, because this was the debate. This was pseudo extemporaneous.
Exactly.
What you did today. It's the closest you could have to come into the studio and get the topic and go all the same.
And you did it.
So it tells me you are a good debater, even when time is limited.
That's right.
So you lost to a very powerful debater. No shame in that.
There's
no
shame
hard
in that.
feelings. Even I don't think I'll win a debate against this Abigail that is sitting down here.
But I'd like for you to know that. I'd like for you to know and to be proud of showing up. Okay? Because you showed up.
That is the lesson.
Despite the time limitation.
That is the lesson.
You showed up.
We have literally.
Oh my goodness, we
just have a minute.
We
Congratulations to you, Abigail.
Yes.
I can't wait to see you in the final on Thursday, in the semi-final.
That's on Thursday.
Yeah, you have a hurdle to cross.
Abigail, just quickly, I'd like to just say this quickly. When you opened with figures, it said $1,141 billion. Honey, it cannot be thousand and billion at the same time. I'm sure you meant $1,141 million. Honey, you said $1,141 billion.
What were you trying to say?
Actually, that was how it was quoted in the
Yeah. Okay, you want to go America? Very funny. American.
It's not 1,000. You could have said 1 point.
Yeah.
1.141 billion.
30 seconds.
Okay, as opposed to that.
Seconds.
Look, we do not have the time right now to go into corrections and whatnot, but it is abuse, it is air. You kept saying hair. I'm sure in the heat of the moment you forgot that, but it is air, it is abuse, not abuse. It is pollution, not pollution. It is tremendous, not tremendous. Tremendous. Okay? Tremendous. Lagos, we are completely out of time.
It's a shame, huh? And it's vandalism, not vandalism.
Vandalism, not vandalism.
Okay,
That's right.
thanks to all the team, everybody. Tunde, Ken, Walamide, everybody. Thank you very much. On behalf of producer Sheriff and the rest of us here, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Lagos.
And then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor. The game changer, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery,
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info.